What's going on, Alchemist? Scott Sedman, your Guildmaster here for Players Guild, and today I'm bringing you the top 3 reasons why you should be excited about Akora TCG. Let's get into it. And we're back. How's everyone doing? Hope you're well. The first reason you should be excited about Akora is because of the creators. Like any indie TCG, this card game grew from Kickstarter, which is a double-edged sword. It can be the best platform, or it can be the worst platform. We've seen both sides of the card game equivalent. We've seen MetaZeus rise to success and Final Redemption fall to the pit that is nothingness. But above all, behind that spark is a creator, or in this case creators. Exion does an amazing job. Transparency is one of the huge things I look for in projects like this. Coming from a game journalism background, when you get people who go radio silent or are very reluctant to answer questions, that's when you kind of should be suspicious. But from what I've seen, interacted with, and of course am part of the community with, Exion has answered everything that he can. Sometimes he's opened up too much, I would argue. But he's also been receptive to feedback, and I think that's a huge thing to know. Most creators, myself as included in this, when they hear negativity or feedback, like a critical feedback, they can take it as a personal offence. Like, I'm not perfect at this, but I've seen Exion take some very damning criticism, listen to it, and like embrace it, right? Like, and I think that's a very important thing for a card game, especially this early, that isn't just focused on flipping to make profit, or like a card game you want to see succeed. And I think Exion very much believes in his own product, which is good. That's good. You should believe in your own product. But even more so than that, he's engaging with the community. He's like, guys, what do you think of this? What do you think of that? Oh, I'm planning this. And we've seen it already. We've seen the malleable change. And that's really good. There's a few things that we brought up in playtesting that's already been addressed before the final release, or even the Kickstarter print. So there's loads of little cool things like that, and like a lot of room for the game to expand and grow. And I think that's a huge thing for any creator, not just a card game maker or a video game developer. Anyone, listen to the feedback, and Exion is doing that. He's been very forthright with what is coming, when to expect things. Obviously, the world can delay stuff, which I think naturally you have to give some leeway of. Currently, in the Discord, which is linked below, you can get yourself some test holos, which I was wishing I could have to show you today, but mine didn't come in time. It is what it is. But yeah, like, so you can even get your hands on some of these cool pre-game designed cards, and I think that's a really cool thing to be a part of as a community member and as someone who just loves card games. I like being involved in that process is very original. But maybe you just don't care about what the creative is. Is it a fun card game? So I guess number 2 is it's a really fun game to play. So balancing issues aside, which we have already discussed about, have been addressed, and I'm sure will continue to be addressed as we do more and more play tests. And I think that's just the nature of card games, right? I don't know a single card game that comes out and it's perfectly balanced 100% of the time. Like that's just not reasonable. People, especially card gamers, always find a way to break their game. But the core concept of Akora is hugely fun. I very much love the idea of having this Akora that you grow up, make powerful, and the gameplay around it is protecting and powering up this Akora, not just attaching energies and stuff like that, like in other like Pokemon where you attach energies, attack, and that's it. Like the Akora feels very like it can stand alone, and then the interactivity comes with the alchemy cards, and I think that's such a unique and fun blend of gameplay styles we traditionally understand. So Pokemon, Magic with relics, like you can kind of get the gist of all of these things that you've seen in other games, and Akora brings it all together in a fun, dynamic flow back and forth. And each kind of nature has its own playstyle, and I think that's really cool. So your Fire Akora are different to your Nature and Ice Akora and Electric, and it's all this kind of hodgepodge put together in a really cool and amazing universe. And that's something to be really excited about. It's been a while since I've been this excited about a new way to play a card game. On paper, it looks like things you've seen, but in practice, it feels very different. And the whole relic system is really cool, in my opinion. Like, yes, it's like energy and land, but it also is going to restrict what you can do. So you have to get to those relic levels, I guess, the number of relics you have to achieve that. And I think that's super cool. I just think that's really cool. Like, so your deck isn't just about your Akora, but it's about managing the alchemy, managing the relics, and being able to be the ultimate alchemist, which we hopefully all will be. Except I'm the best and I will win a sleeping dragon, thank you very much. And that brings me on to the third factor. Of any card game, right, you've got to have collectability. Like, that's just a fact, right? Every card game I know has some form of collectability, and Akora is no different. Akora is very collectible right now. It's very in demand. The Kickstarter print has finished. Those are getting made currently, which is super exciting. And I know a lot of people are getting in on that like hype of just being part of this first wave of alchemists, and that's really cool. But when I say collectability, like, we've seen so many cool concepts, some of which I can't talk about on video, but we have seen what these cards can look like. We've seen the full arts from the Kickstarter, which look amazing. We have seen the only 5 in the world ancient dragons. Well, technically 7, but it's 5 for the pop deck, I guess, is what we'll say. And obviously the first Kickstarter, Sleeping Dragon, something I do not own, but hope one day to earn, is like, these are all super cool and collectible cards. And I think that's really cool that a lot of the collectibleness of it aren't even legal playable cards, right? It's not like you're after a Black Lotus because it's broken and it's super strong. It's like, no, these are cool concepts, and these are cards before we made the card game that are collectible, and I think that's awesome. But I definitely think full arts and stuff are going to be collectible going forward, and so that's awesome. I can see full arts being huge in this game, hugely important, because everyone that I've spoken to, like, it's almost unanimous that people love the artwork, love the design. Some of the newer artworks that we're getting spoiled right now, chef's kiss, hat off to all of the artists, which is another great thing about this game, is the artists. So yeah, like, it's a very cool TCG. It's a very cool TCG run by someone who you can tell it's a passion project. It's not just, I'm here to cash in on the Kickstarter craze of TCGs, which, you know, that's it's valid. It's happening. You see a lot of these TCGs are popping up on Kickstarter now. And that's not a damning indictment. If you're on Kickstarter, you must be a scam. Like, no, that's not what I'm saying. But it's going to get tougher and tougher to weed out card games that are there for the money and card games that are there to be a card game. And I think Akora is one that we can safely say is going to be a card game, because it's already, through Exion, Kingu, all of the creators that have created for it, like, there's a real groundswell of community and passion, and I haven't seen this in a long time, and it's something I'm really happy about. It feels like a very grassroots guerrilla card game that we're all getting in on, and I love that. I love everything about that. So I do implore you to check it out. Like I did mention, the Kickstarter has finished, so the Kickstarter boxes are unavailable now, but first edition will be coming next year. Just keep tuned to this channel, because we're obviously going to be covering it. And of course, let us know in the Discord, join in all of the discourse on Discord, and become an alchemist. And yeah, I've been Scott7, your Guildmaster, and I will see you next time.